Hello, welcome friends back to another video. Today, I will be going over why has the spiritual power of sex been kept a secret? So without further ado, let us begin. Our race has finally grown aware of the need to conserve natural resources, lest we consume ourselves to total ruin. Freshwater, soil, forests, and fuels must be spared. Food produced more efficiently, building and transportation accomplished with less waste. We have already exhausted a major portion of the readily recoverable riches of the planet. The cost of basic commodities skyrockets because with the few resources left, we continue to overproduce inefficient machines such as cars, military, tanks, missiles, etc. We all know how various forms of spending has been spended nearly for destruction. And that has to be questioned. Why is there so much money put into the destruction of other beings instead of creating a more cosmopolitan utopian society? Everyone is eager to conserve natural resources, but few even dream of conserving the most critical resource of all, one's own vital energies. The careful harboring of the energy stored within a man's seed is a truly rational energy program. Yet this aspect of conservation is entirely overlooked by politicians and health experts. So in the West specifically, it seems like it is very a commodity. Sex is a commodity. It's something that people see as an interaction based on monetary things. It's a commodity now. It's something that could be bought. It's not seen for its spiritual purpose. It's not seen for its spiritual healing. It's seen as a commodity. Our reason for this neglect is simply general ignorance of the ancient and highly secret methods used in the past. Taoist masters gained knowledge of these methods through unknown millennia of relentless searching for the secret principles of animating matter, or the life force that's generating from this seminal value. The Taoist masters felt bound to reveal their potent secrets to only the most select disciples, those who had proven their devotion to the masters' ideals by years of arduous self-sacrifice and service. Why did the masters feel so strongly compelled to hide their tremendous knowledge from the public? The reason for this secrecy is not easily comprehended by the Western public today. The mass media have fostered a state of mind in which anyone's life is everyone's business, and the most intimate details of private sex life are the most greedily lapped up. Advertisers assure their clients today nothing sells unless it's sexy, or what we know as sex sells. This is practically formulating every part of media, social media, television, movies. It always contains some sort of sexual connotations to a great degree. I mean, sex is important. Sex is a healing act. Sex is the reason we're all here, but it's a oversaturation for a reason. They oversaturate the market with the sexualization. This is to promote this kind of degradation of the sex act, to really just make it seem like a commodity when it's much deeper than that. This mentality has made sex in America into a disposable commodity, making it harder in our private lives to experience sex as an intimate pleasure that can be cultivated over time to ever deepening levels. Today, sex is often consumed and thrown away as soon as the lover becomes old or an inconvenience. So this is seen throughout society today, that people are monkey branching from relationship to relationship, just using people in physical ways and just trying to see what the most they can get out of them. Hence why we call this a disposable commodity now. They have lost the sense of spiritual nature behind the sexual act. It's now just sought after lustfully instead of with love. Even the woman in the harem of Chinese emperors and aristocrats fared better, being assured of material comfort for life in exchange for their sexual favors. The court society favored the position of men, but at least the female sexual energy was respected for its healing benefits and honored as being necessary for the spiritual development of the male. So this is very true that the potent yin essence is essential for the yang essence. They're necessary for each other because the duality is what makes up the whole, or what we know as singularity. A classic Taoist story tells of a woman who learned the process of sexual transformation and exchanged her yin energy with her lover's yang energy, and thereby achieved immortality. She thus became the guide to ancient emperors on the subject of love. There is a recorded historical instance of a palace maid in 1690 AD becoming the empress on the death of the emperor, Empress Wu, respected for her mastery of the art of love, ruled wisely for several decades until her death. The ancient Taoist masters were not superstitious. They were natural scientists who laid the foundation for amazing technological advances in medicine, chemistry, biology, navigation, and many other fields that would not be discovered by Western scientists until 2,000 years later, nor did they crave exclusive possession of their potent knowledge. So, for the most part, this was a very vital understanding. But it was so that people understood its true powers and that it wouldn't be wasted amongst anyone. That's why they kept it such a secret, right? They couldn't care less about having it thrown to everyone. It was just that this was such an important practice to them. They took it seriously. They felt like if it was just thrown around, it wouldn't be taken as seriously. They had their reasons for secrecy, and their reasons were well founded at the time. They were custodians of the doctrine taught to them by their masters, and feared the misuse of the great force unlocked by the secret principles. Perhaps they felt an obligation to protect the public from its tendency to distort the purest teaching to suit its own basic instincts. So like we mentioned, it was not because they didn't want everyone not to know. It's because this life force, this gravitational life force is so potent that you learn many things in this process, this brahmacharya process. You see through the veil of God, but also for someone who has basic animalistic instincts, they may use this life force for bad. They could potentially use their force for bad or for corruption or just for their own self-pleasing matters. So for that case, they understood to keep this kind of thing a secret. In rural China, which was more or less populous then, someone with such esoteric knowledge could easily become a chieftain or a king. A warrior could use his power to defeat his opponents. So besides intelligence, it gives you physical strength, it gives you vigor, discipline. A multitude of energies will be sprouted on you because a good portion of your energies are going towards making this Qing. The Taoist masters thus taught it dangerous to spread their teachings too widely and pass them only to a few chosen disciples before departing their earthly life. To guarantee that the formula not be used for selfish purposes, these masters often transmitted to each disciple only a piece of the doctrine. This was to obviously not let it get into the wrong hands, so it was spread apart, but also it was spread upon many disciples so that if they came together, that they can make it one again. Thus, only if the disciples banded together and shared their learnings could the supreme potencies be unleashed. If anyone selfishly withheld his learning, they would never receive the whole doctrine. In the course of many generations, fragments of the innermost secrets came to be regarded as the whole. So guys, this has been why has the spiritual power of sex been kept a secret? For the most part, it is part of the market we live in. At least in the West, it is a market. The more of a commodity sex becomes, the more all the other industries flourish. Finance, medicine, all these other industries flourish when they're keeping people at their lowest states of consciousness. And our duty is to make sure everyone rises in states of consciousness until they finally reach the singularity of the source of all sources. So thank you guys for watching and joining me today, friends. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for leaving such kind comments. And I will be back for another video. So thank you guys.